I never thought my marriage would come to this. Emma and I had been together for 10 years, married for 6. And while things weren't always perfect, I believed we were solid. We had a house, a good life, and I thought love. But all of that changed with one conversation. It started on a quiet Thursday evening. I had just gotten home from work, exhausted but ready to relax with my wife. Emma sat across from me at the dinner table, pushing her food around her plate, clearly troubled. "Jake, I need to talk to you," she said hesitantly, her voice unusually soft. I put my fork down and gave her my full attention. "What's wrong?" She took a deep breath and looked me straight in the eyes. "I feel lost. I don't know who I am anymore." I frowned, confused. "Lost? What do you mean?" Emma sighed, placing her hands on the table. "I've been thinking a lot, and I realized that I never got to explore life before settling down. I was with you since college. I never got to be with other people, never got to experience things." My stomach twisted. "Are you saying you regret marrying me?" "No," she said quickly. "I love you, Jake. But I need to do this for me. Just one weekend. I need a weekend to be with someone else, to find myself. No lies, no cheating behind your back. Just honesty." Honesty? She wanted to cheat openly, and expected me to just sit back and be okay with it? My blood boiled, but I kept my voice steady. "So, let me get this straight. You want to sleep with someone else, and you're asking for my blessing?" Emma nodded. "It's not about the sex, Jake. It's about self-discovery. I want to make sure I'm not missing out on something before I commit to the rest of our lives." I was speechless. The woman I had given my heart to was sitting here, asking for permission to betray me. For a moment, I considered begging her not to do it. I considered trying to reason with her, to remind her of everything we had built together. But then something inside me shifted. If she was willing to throw away our marriage for a weekend of self-discovery, then maybe she wasn't the woman I thought she was. So, instead of fighting, I simply nodded. "All right." Emma blinked, surprised. "Really?" "Yeah," I said, forcing a smile. "You do what you have to do. But remember, choices have consequences." She smiled, relieved. "Thank you, Jake. I knew you'd understand." Oh, I understood perfectly. And I already knew exactly what I was going to do. "You said." As soon as Emma went to bed, I got to work. I wasn't going to sit around like a fool while my wife ran off to find herself in another man's bed. No, I was going to make sure that when she came back, she wouldn't find the devoted husband she expected waiting for her. First, I gathered evidence. I checked her phone while she slept. Sure enough, there were messages to a guy named Ryan, her weekend self-discovery partner. She had planned everything behind my back, and was only telling me now because she wanted to clear her conscience. I took screenshots of everything. The flirty messages, the hotel reservation, even the lingerie she had ordered for the occasion. Next, I made my own plans. If Emma wanted to play games, I'd show her how it was really done. The next morning, I told her I was going to visit my parents for the weekend. She barely acknowledged it, too caught up in her excitement. Instead, I booked a luxury suite at a hotel across town, one that just so happened to be in the same hotel she and Ryan had chosen. I wasn't going alone either. I had reached out to someone from my past, Samantha, my ex-fiancée, the one Emma had always been jealous of. Samantha had been more than willing to help. "You mean your wife wants to cheat, and you want to make her regret it?" "Count me in," she said with a laugh. By Friday evening, I was checked in waiting. And sure enough, I didn't have to wait long before I spotted Emma and Ryan heading into the hotel lobby, all smiles and stolen glances. It was time for the next phase of my revenge. You said. I didn't just want to hurt Emma. I wanted her to feel the kind of betrayal that ripped through the soul, the kind that left a permanent scar. So I made sure she saw me. Samantha and I strolled through the lobby, holding hands, laughing like we didn't have a care in the world. I wasn't just pretending to be happy. I actually felt good. There was something freeing about knowing I was no longer the man who would blindly accept disrespect. Emma and Ryan were waiting in line at the front desk when she spotted us. Her eyes widened in shock, her whole body stiffening, as if she had been struck. For a brief moment, I saw panic flash across her face. She turned to Ryan and whispered something, but it was too late. I locked eyes with her and smirked. Jake, she finally called out, her voice laced with confusion and desperation. I feigned surprise. Emma? Wow, what are the chances? She swallowed hard. What are you doing here? Oh, just spending the weekend with Samantha, I said casually, wrapping an arm around my ex's waist. You know, doing some self-discovery of my own. Emma's face turned pale. But you said. I said you should do what you need to do. And I decided I needed this. Her lips parted as if she wanted to argue. But what could she say? She had asked for this. She had set the rules. Ryan, clearly uncomfortable, cleared his throat. Maybe we should go, Emma. But Emma wasn't ready to leave. Not yet. Jake, can we talk? Alone. I chuckled. Why? So you can justify your actions while condemning mine? No thanks. Enjoy your weekend, Emma. I know I will. With that, I turned and walked away, leaving her standing there in stunned silence. But my revenge wasn't over yet. Emma came home on Sunday night, looking exhausted and miserable. She hesitated at the door, as if unsure whether she was still welcome in our home. Her hair was messy, her makeup smudged, and for the first time in years, she looked uncertain, like she had just realized she made the biggest mistake of her life. I sat on the couch, calm and collected, sipping a glass of whiskey. I didn't greet her. I didn't ask about her weekend. I just waited. She finally broke the silence. Jake, can we talk? I glanced at her, my expression unreadable. Sure. Talk. Emma swallowed hard. I made a mistake, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. I thought this would help me help us. But all it did was show me how much I don't want to lose you. I nodded slowly, but I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. No love. I stood up and grabbed a folder from the coffee table, handing it to her. Thought you should see this. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. The folder contained screenshots of her messages with Ryan, proof of her betrayal. But that wasn't all. Inside were also copies of the divorce papers I had already signed. Her breath hitched. Divorce? I nodded. You wanted a weekend to find yourself. I hope you did. Because I found something too. I found out I deserve better. Tears welled in her eyes. Jake, please. I don't want this. I want us. I let out a bitter laugh. You had us, Emma. You had everything. And you threw it away for a what if. She shook her head frantically. I'll do anything. Please, let's fix this. I looked at her one last time. The woman I had loved. The woman I had trusted. The woman who had destroyed it all. No, I said firmly. We're done. And with that, I walked away, leaving her standing there broken. A few months later, my life had completely turned around. The divorce was finalized, and I had moved into a new apartment. I focused on myself, my happiness, and for the first time in a long time, I felt truly free. One evening, I got a text from Samantha. Dinner this weekend? No pressure, just good company. I smiled. Maybe life had a funny way of working things out after all.